All right. Imagine the newest power player in Chicago, luxury, walking past the old guard and taking the crown. Ritz-Carlton, Marriott, Hyatt, decades of prestige, and still playing yesterday's game. Now imagine Trump Tower Chicago winning a strategy none of them are built for. Not selling to stay, but selling status, a story, and the right arrival before the guest ever checks in. All right, that's what we're going to talk about today. This is a series called Before the Check-in, and we're going to explore certain ideas and concepts that are on the cutting edge of the luxury marketing industry. So let's take a quick look at our premise here. Let's see if I can get us all set up, and here we go.
If you just keep being consistent, you will just plateau. The actual formula for growth is consistency x experimentation. We went from 8,000 on YouTube to 13 million. This is the blueprint going forward for brands. So I start with Grand Central, like being the center of your city map, and that has got to be your why. Your why is your anchor. It's where everything starts, it's where everything comes back to, it's how the whole flow works. Okay, where do I want people to go to when they're in my city? So in New York City, you would go to Times Square, you would go to Statue of Liberty. So the destinations I want to get people to with my content is increase my inbound speaking inquiries. So I want to 10x my speaking. So that's destination 1. Destination 2 is book deal. And destination 3, I want to grow my YouTube subscriber base to 100K. So if we want to get to the destinations, we need lines that take us from Central Station to the destination. So your lines are like your signals. Signals is going to take someone from you to the destination. Currently, we've got all the people in Grand Central in your why. They've arrived because they're interested in your brand, but we need to know the right kind of people who we need to get onto each line. So now we need to think about the passengers for each line. So immediately we've identified the audience that we're going to take on each line. And then we need to think about the stops on the line that are going to keep people going. And the stops are your content formats. And we are trying to move people from the central area that they've arrived in and keep them on the line of interest. They take you to the destination. And these are your content pieces that are going to do that. So it's okay, what are the formats that are going to take the passenger in the line of credibility to reach the speaking goal? A lot of people think about the content they want to create, and then they think, okay, how am I going to measure it? They don't think about how it feeds into the wider network of your brand and how it's going to build towards a goal over time. So it's all about goal, signal, content. It works backwards from there.
It's a glorious machine.
Goal, signal, content. Goal, signal, content. So what does that look like? What does that look like in terms of a property like the Trump Tower? If we were to lay that marketing template over the Trump Tower in Chicago, what would we find? Now, if you don't know Chicago and if you don't know the Trump Tower and where it's positioned, it is a masterpiece in terms of location. It's right there where the old Wrigley building used to be. It's right on the river. You see that right there? It's right on the river front. And if you look down on the metro tracks on the loop and you look north, you see the Trump Tower. It's just perfectly positioned. And so if we take this template, this luxury template that we heard just a minute ago, right? So the Trump Tower is Grand Central Station. And then what Chicago has to offer. Now, we're not talking about rooms, right? That's a traditional thing that you talk about the rooms and you talk about the amenities, you talk about the pool. But what this new marketing thesis proposes is that as you're scrolling and as you're interested in food and as you're interested in art and as you're interested in these various things, as you're interested in dog food, right? You're going to talk about dog food. All of a sudden you're going to see kibbles and bits on your phone, right? And so in this new world of advertising, what we have is that your interest over time gets piqued by the things that you like. And so if we create content that is sort of hub and spoked in a way where we are pushing people towards a destination, and the destination, the Grand Central station of that destination is the luxury property. Now this could be the Marriott or the Hyatt or whoever starts the marketing process, because people are allergic to marketing, right? As soon as people are being marketed to, especially in this trust apocalypse with AI, people are just turn off right away. And so we're in a new era. SEO, funnel marketing, it does not have anywhere near the power that it did before. And so we have a property like Trump Tower as Grand Central Station, and the core why of our marketing initiative is we make Chicago feel like a modern luxury capital again. We make Chicago great again. We make Trump Tower the cleanest point of entry into its riverfront, its architecture, and its socially affluent and fluent layer. So who are the participants? Who do we market to? Who's going to be the passengers on our journey? And so these are just avatars. They can be refined, they can be changed, they can be categorized more specifically. But let's just say we'll take four: the operator, the founder, the executive, the sophisticated couple, romantic but discerning, the affluent weekender, time-poor, taste-rich visitor who wants a seamless route into the city's best layer without doing amateur research, the modern patron, all right, drawn to art, architecture, jazz, and design. So these are the avatars, and then we create content which brings these people on a journey to the destination, right? So line one could be the architecture, the skyline, and Chicago's command and perspective, riverfront prestige, the design literacy of its architectural history. Line two, discreet dining after hours. Line three, cultural access and social fluency. Chicago has a rich heritage in terms of museums, the right people who know what's up. And the great thing about Chicago is there is sort of this restorative wellness culture here, right? You're not with the bugs and the mosquitoes out in nature. You're in these settings that are natural, luxurious, open. The lakefront is right there. The negative ions of the breaking waves is right there for you. The third coast's sensibility. And so those are the destinations that we bring the passengers to, right? The central hub is Trump Tower. The Grand Central Station is Trump Tower, but these are the destinations. So the signal, right? Chicago still impresses people who have already seen everything, and so the content is geared towards these destinations, and so if you put this type of marketing template on top of this new way of approaching luxury, you're not selling the room, you're not selling the property, because every luxurious property has amazing rooms. Every luxurious property has an awesome pool or a sauna, and then you have brand names like the Ritz-Carlton, the Hyatt, and all of these luxurious legacy hotel. So where did you stay? Oh, we stayed at Ritz-Carlton, right? But what the Trump hotel could do, even because it's relatively new, it was built between 2005 2009, it could dominate the luxury hotel sector in Chicago if it takes this marketing strategy to heart and creates content that defines these routes of enjoyment and these destinations of uniqueness of destinations that are truly Chicago, and so we're going to talk about that more. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time. I'm going to do a 3 to 4 part series. I'm going for a 3-part series, maybe do a bonus series at the end, talking about this idea before the check-in that the destination was as we began to be world travelers, the destination was just one part of the trip. The voyage was the experience. Before planes, right? We had trains and boats, so the voyage was part of the vacation. We didn't have to endure like we have to endure the airport. And so just to give us a taste of what that used to feel like and the kind of the feeling that we're going back to in terms of luxury marketing, let's just take a look at this video really quickly. I'll bring down the music here, and let's go here and check it out.
You look beautiful tonight.
So that's where we're headed in luxury marketing. It's not just the destination in terms of the hotel, it's the entire experience that matters. It's the hotel is the place that's where you check in not just your baggage, but your trust and your confidence that this experience is going to be everything that you possibly imagined it could be. All right. And so next episode, we're going to talk about why this is a very special, unique time. Just in the .com era, everybody was like a homestead sort of thing. Everybody was going and staking their claim on different .com addresses. Well, now, because of the way generative AI and LLMs work, we can bring ourselves into areas of recognition that weren't before, that weren't possible before. Like if you Google the unofficial King of LinkedIn Live, I show up. All right, and that's not because I am bigger than Alex Hormozy or bigger than Tony Robbins in terms of followers. It's because I've staked that ground out using my knowledge of AI and AI search and LLMs and everything like that. So we're going to leave with 20 seconds of the most shameless self-promotion you've ever seen in your life, and we'll see you next time, all right? All right, thanks for watching. Take care.